Alright folks, welcome back to King's Consoles, here for another retro hardware overview. And yes, it's another Super Nintendo controller, as you can kind of gather by the multicoloured buttons. Kind of a giveaway of these controllers. Well, only if you are within the UK or Europe and Japan, that kind of area. If you're in America, this is alien. Although thanks to the internet, you now kind of know that this is the variant we got in Europe and Asia. But yeah, so another Super Nintendo controller. This is one I've actually had since I was a wee boy. I'm actually surprised it's in such good conditions the minute I use this thing. But this is my second controller. So both these controllers I've actually had, I'm going to show you, I've had since the start. And as I said in my previous video, if you haven't seen it, certainly check out my channel. I've got the Honeybee Competition Pro controller. This is another third-party controller for a Super Nintendo. It's called the SNProPad, as you can see just the writing there, Super Nintendo ProPad. As with the previous videos, I'm just going to have a little overview of the actual controller itself. Now it's a clear case, but a lot of the housing is on this kind of grey plastic bit behind. Although you can still see the shoulder buttons getting pushed down. Oh, a little bit of gunk on the side there. Kind of this spring design, but I don't think that actually does anything. Just see it inside there. I don't think that spring actually moves. I think it's just kind of a soft pad. But yeah, overall I like the design of this controller. Kind of mirrors the original Super Nintendo, but once again it's quite a big controller, so it fits really nice in my hands. Looking at the back, now this is kind of where the clear controller comes in. See a lot more of the circuit boards and the wires. So there's the wire from the controller port. Go to the circuit board, all the resistors, and we can just make out there. This is the SV334 SNProPad by QJ, which I believe was it QuickJoy? QuickJoy. I can't remember, but if you do know, let me know in the comments below if it's QuickJoy was the name of the company. But this is another third-party pad, much like the Honeybee and any sort of Mad Cats, or no matter what company, they make a third-party device. So, going on to, I made a little bit of contradiction. If you have seen my previous video about the Competition Pro, one of the reasons I really like this controller is the D-pad. You can actually hear it, listen. Listen to that D-pad, it's so close to the original one. Now I thought, and as I did say in my previous video, that third-party companies couldn't actually mimic the original Super Nintendo, and I'll show you when I get into a side-by-side comparison. But yeah, this is one of the most satisfying joypads, and I think it's actually slightly bigger than the not joypad, D-pads. Slightly bigger than the original SNES. I think I actually always went in player 2 because this worked out as a far better controller. But yeah, you hear the buttons are nice and responsive. Soft, squishy start and select. They were pretty rubbish, to be fair. But then, so was the original ones, they were always squidgy. So they worked out nice. And we have the feature, which is most of why people bought these controllers, not me. This was just, think back in the day, this was cheaper than buying an original Super Nintendo controller, which seems to be the case even nowadays. Try to buy a PS4 controller, extortionate. So there's always third parties out there that give us cheaper alternatives. But yeah, we have now a sliding switch for your off, semi-auto and auto, and that just varies the rate of fire or how much it holds down the button for you. So depending on the game, you can put that to full auto, hold down B, say shooting game, or any form of game that requires you pushing the button rapidly. So I don't know if it worked with something like track and field. In fact, I don't even know if track and field came out, or any sort of athletics game came out for the Super Nintendo. Same again, if you do know, put in the comments. But yeah, you could just put down A and B, hold the two down, and it'll just be like you're rapidly pressing the A and B. And they've actually got the shoulder buttons at the top, which I'll compare. I'd say overall design, this is a third party controller done right. And I'll compare the Competition Pro so you can see why I kind of favour this one. Same again in the back, they seem to like putting them in the back, must be easier. We've got a slow-mo button, can't really see it so much there. Doesn't say it, but yeah, all it does, flick it on, it just presses the start button rapidly and gives you this kind of slow motion effect, depending on the game you're playing. See, there's Toshiba chips, Japan. Kind of like seeing all the intricate wires and design, all the screws. Yeah, that's like just cardboard. They're just other printed boards. But yeah, so I could look at the circuit boards. It's like electronic porn for people that like that sort of thing. Overall, a great controller. The cable length is a bit shorter than usual. It's not as long as some of the Super Nintendo controllers. Probably lucky if it was actually a meter, but oh, there's the QJ logo there as well. Don't think they actually put it. I'm sure it's QuickJoy was the name of the company. And the standard Super Nintendo, sad, standard Super Nintendo joypad input, which was not on the Mini, but hey, progress, I guess. So let's have a look at this controller with the original Super Nintendo, which we have here. So you can see a massive size difference, big plastic case, and I say nowadays this is still my go-to pad. I've always had big hands, even when I was a kid. Yeah, this is just more comfortable to hold for me. But as I said in my previous videos, I still love the Super Nintendo controller as a default controller. This thing just is really good for a third-party controller. And I'll bring in the Competition Pro. So yeah, you put in the comments below, what would you rather have, SNProPad or the Competition ProPad? Just let me know what you think. Personally, this every time. This is a nice looking controller. Maybe it looks a bit more faded and aged. But certainly the plastic on this seems to have not yellowed. It's still kind of got its blue tint. And overall, I love this controller. I don't think I kind of stuck with my SNES stuff. I sold controllers in the past and got rid of other peripherals. A little shout out to Mark, who actually came and bought my Amiga CD32 today. Came to the door and said, oh yeah, I'm a subscriber to your channel, King's Consoles. So if you watch this, Mark, nice to meet you. Hopefully you do enjoy the Amiga CD32. But yeah, overall guys, this is an awesome controller. If you find it second hand and you've got an original Super Nintendo, definitely pick it up. You won't regret it. But it's Dave from King's Consoles, so you can catch us again very soon, and bye for now.